All right, you guys been asking for an update on Vbelt's new truck. If you didn't know, when I got my new 5500 earlier this year, we also snagged up a 4500 truck for him, and it's sharp. It's a nice looking truck. People definitely want to see that on the road. I do. But if you didn't know why he went with a 4500, it's because simply he's always wanted a F450 or a 4500. Just one step above a 3500. Get the same gear ratio as a 3500, except for you get tougher springs, bigger tires, bigger brakes, better steering, the whole nine, kind of stuff that you get with 5500. Because the only difference with a 45 and 5500 is the sticker and the gear ratio. But Haas opted to go ahead and build his flatbed because he couldn't find a factory one. Switch and go didn't really, make sense, and he just wants a lower profile one. So headed to his house right now. I grabbed a battery for his diesel hot pressure tank washer thing so he could run that. But it's winter time. He's got a pretty interesting setup down here so that he can work in the winter, because he ain't got no shop yet. Might have bought him something, but he still hasn't set it up. Well, there it is. You recognize it still does not have the bed on it. It's because it's actually in here. This is the tarp material Haas uses to cover up the lumber and firewood, and he made a little building out of it. I'll show you. $10 core charge. I had a $10 coupon for Tractor Supply, so that ate up that. It doesn't matter. It's already right there. This little trailer I bought off a neighbor, Landon ran it over. He ran over a tongue of it here, and it's sitting in the driveway forever. And I said, what are you gonna do with that? $200, you can have it. And I said, cool. So I went and bought the $30 hitch for it. I think I towed it back home with a side by or something. But we use it for this thing because anybody have one of these, they know that they're difficult to move around. Hi, cranker. Yeah, boy. The sticker on that battery is 5 months old. It's been sitting on that shelf.
Really?
Yeah.
90 days something.
Yeah, 90-day free return, no questions. The idea with this thing is, for one, to build the flatbed so that he's got some coverage for it, because he was in between storms, he was covering it up and he wasn't able to work. It's not the most perfect situation. I know he should just come down to the shop and work, but he likes working on his own schedule. But he did get a new plasma cam set up. He's got 2 of those now. And the idea was to be able to, just plasma cut these things out of a sheet and have all the rib supports. From my understanding, I would say this is the front. It's got a spot for the gooseneck to go through right there. But he just needs to finish up all the ribbing, because when you're throwing firewood and chunks of stuff in here, if you're running on foot centers, you got a lot of dents. But he went with thicker stuff than his 01. 5-inch C-channel up front, 5-inch C-channel runners, and it's going to have, I already showed it before, but it's going to have the multi-stage cylinder right here. So it looks like he's got a handful of them cut out there. He's got to just get the stickers for the sides, get the hinge built, and flip her over. But that's pretty much the low-key end of how the bed's going. It's a little chilly in here. I thought he had a heater. I don't see that heater. But you guys want an update on it? Pretty simple how it is. There was a math error. Had the metal shop in town bend this for him. He told me he's gonna put it around a piece of 5-inch channel. So yeah, 5-inch inside is what it needed to be, not 5-inch outside diameter. So didn't really add up right there, unfortunately. But this was, if you want to the next size steel for this, just the sheet metal alone would have been 1,000 pounds, and that's getting up there. I believe the truck weighs 6,500 empty. So all said and done, she's gonna have a pretty good amount of weight here with the bed. Figure all the steel and everything into it. Shoot, I don't remember how much that weighed. I don't know if they actually weighed this one, but he knew the other stuff was definitely gonna be heavier. But his 01, go outside and show that to you quick. He also built that bed. But that thing weighs right at 8,000 pounds, and it's only 3,500. Quite a bit less going to it. But he did get the aluminum wheels on the new truck, so that saves, you know, the amount of like your lunch. It's cool that he's actually working on it though, because it was a while he wasn't doing nothing with it. So he bought this truck brand new, 2001. I think it had like 95 miles on it. They drove it from a different dealer up there, the one we got it at. I remember riding off the lot in it, so it's kind of a grandma's truck kind of story. But it'll be kind of the same. I'm trying to get him to make a cleaner cut, bumper style back here. Something that kind of tapers in like the Great Northerns do. Hinge idea is pretty much going to be the same. It's going to be kind of a mimic of this bed, but mixed with like a factory dump box that you see, you know, a lot of city worker trucks kind of using. And on the new one, we're going to put toolbox here so he can have his gear inside the toolboxes rather than in the cab, because he's running a regular cab because he likes tight quarter. I told him, man, that thing is going to turn around on itself versus this. Just a wide track front end on those new trucks is sweet. And then same thing on the back here. But what we're going to option out to do is make it even fancier. Is since it's going to have that telescoping cylinder in between here, there's going to be a gap, and we're going to have fuel pump right there for a transfer tank. And I think I'm just going to do a hydraulic quick coupler for taking the hose off and throwing it in one of the boxes. But one spot right here, we're aiming, man, that could be like a 30-40 gallon fuel tank right here for tractors and stuff. So I don't have to always carry a slip tank or have to have mine full all the time, because trying to haul equipment and stuff, if he carried fuel, make life a little bit easier. All right, I'll close out this video just showing you the truck again, just so you can soak it up. I told him this thing's gained in value, especially since the old Peterson Ram up there gave us super good deals. A couple other guys have gone up there and picked up one of these trucks from him. Competitive prices, and I think they got the pull when it comes to getting one of these trucks without the longest lead time. But look, I mean, it's, I don't think, did his come with floor mats? I don't know. Oh, that's a weather thing. Oh, wow. Brand new truck smell. 517 miles on it. Jeez. They almost had this thing a year. Another couple months, it'll be a year. Build date on this thing is, another month, this thing will be a year old already. That is so hard to believe. Holy dang. But like I was telling you, the difference between 4,500 and 5,500 literally will come down to this up here. And I believe you can order a 55 with the 410 gear ratio. He's not going to be towing a lot, and it's just nice to have a cruising gear. The 444s that I got are definitely the perfect hybrid gear. Some of the steeper slopes that's got some windy roads, they're proven to be on the borderline of the potential of the gearing to keep it in a lockup gear. But for cruising and stuff, because I'm not doing, if I was in the hills every single absolute day towing heavy, I would have definitely gone with 488s. But the 444s worked out slick. And he's going to put, like I showed you, he's got a section in the bed for a gooseneck hitch in there. It will be bolted to the frame, more than likely strapped down and then hooked in on the sides here. That's the way his other truck is set up. But he's got the 410s. And with the 40K trailer, I can haul just as much with this rig as my 5,500. We'll max out the potential before the actual ratings go anywhere. But this is a sweet rig. Holy jeez. Probably bring the truck down to the paint booth in my house and get the bed painted. I won't paint that because that's the most beautiful freaking red possible. I mean, they nailed it right there. Man, she's slick. That blue stuff's stupid though. Got the Alcoas on. You guys seen this truck before, but folks ask about it pretty often. This SLT, couldn't get this in Bighorn. And one thing I did not account for, I'm kind of bummed about it. So I don't know if anybody's ever, scored a set brand new takeouts or something that have the up and down power, because my dad's a couple inches shorter than myself. So I really wanted him to have a seat that doesn't just go, because it's got I wanted to be able to just lift up a little bit, because he doesn't have the options. You know, that's what kind of sucks. I don't know how that got missed. And then somehow we ended up with the black belts. But he's got the black roof. I don't get it. Shoot. That's such a sweet truck. Such a sweet truck. Oh, and FYI, if you get a door for a regular cab or a crew cab, they're going to be different. So if you're buying something Craigslist, don't mess that up. Just like an early 24 valve is different than a late 24. Probably end up ordering one of those, just a light bumper for the front of this thing, because he did plow a couple deers with his. This Toyota's hit a couple deers. He's had this thing since freaking 95 or something. The old Marty McFly rig. I drove this to high school. Thinking about fixing up, selling. It's got a brand new engine in it, 5-speed. But look at this here, mangled. He was going to get a Rennell back in the day when they're made locally, but they were just too heavy for his taste. I guess he'd rather have the payload rather than, you know, the weight up front. But man, she got clobbered. Steering wheel got a little sideways and the alignment went a little weird. That deer, but that's been many years ago. Shoot. Let's look at the miles on this. I'm waiting on a fella to get out of the way so I can take off. But when I was talking about how everything just kind of gets piled up in a work truck in the back and in the floor. When he used to have Tiger Australian Shepherd, that's where his main spot was. Job sites, leave the door open, he'd be sleeping on the floor, but now he's got Emma. She sits right here, so stuff gets cluttered down there. But the old 5-speed, it is, the original trans was still working, but it was hard shifting. So we put a new clutch and new trans in it. And it's a brand new NV 4500, but it's kind of like a weird, it's not as tight, if that makes sense. But let's see how many miles he's got. Oh, only 177,000 on this truck. I thought he was closer to 200. But the only thing that's really gone bad with this is the lift pump failed, injection pump failed, and you know, that series of 24 valve BS. And heater core dash, it's got a topper on it. But I'm just, see here, he upgraded. The dealer upfitted these because it was supposed to show up with power windows, and it didn't, so they put this aftermarket. It's a Chinese kit underneath there, but somehow they had a bezel that had the factory Dodge stuff on there. Headliner acting up. There's his Christmas present, so he's got access to my place without hitting the gate code. But pretty much this truck has been supposedly heavy many a times, day in and day out, and it's kept up with everything, so pretty good. Haas doesn't sell anything. It was weird that we sold that gray 12 valve, but I told him that we could make some money on it. He doesn't drive it. That new red one was coming in, so he was willing to part ways with that. But this is his, I guess he's sold like 20% of his vehicles in the past. He's got his original Ford, then he got a Nissan, sold that to his brother, and then got this guy, and then got that guy, and then 12 valve, and then that guy. So he's still got all his rigs. All right, to answer another question that I'm sure I might get on here is, why is this not down at the shop getting worked on inside? And why am I not helping on it? Like I said earlier, he's working at his own pace. When he's got time to work on it, he's not going out doing whatever job the day might hold, or if the weather's bad or whatever. Now he's got a roof built. He built all this. It's kind of neat. Got a sawmill too. I'll show you guys that later. But he's at his own pace. And when I come over here, it's like if you were to come down and want to start helping me on the 66 or something. It's just like, I mean, yeah, you can kind of do something. I think the pace is right for him, so we'll just leave it there. But anyway, that's the update on Haas's 22 4500. We'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know what you guys think about his flatbed here. It's going to be a beefcake, I'll give it that much. He's got a little bit more, you know, gross vehicle weight rating with this new truck than the old one. Realistically, he might have just gone off and got a 5500, but he's always wanted to check that 4500 box off the list, and might be cold in here. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Again, comment below if you made it this far. Say, Haas, that flatbed looked pretty slick.